Yes. It's 7:30. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Roll call, William Johnston. Here. Lynn Colligan.
Here.
And Phil Diorio is here. Lisa Kreckler and Thomas Graffinino are both excused. Via Zoom, we have Stephen Kiley, Town Attorney. First order of business is to review and approve the June 28th, 2023 minutes. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we have two open applications here, actually closed applications before us. First is 8 East Brander Parkway, Dark Campbell. The folks are putting like to put a deck on the front of the house on the East Brander Parkway side, and some extending on the side of the neighbor on the non-road side.
The north side of the house.
Okay. We heard a few different folks come up and support, and a couple oppose the application. We had an opponent to portray it as something that was dangerous to bicyclists driving on Beach Road. I don't think that that's factual. And then we had someone in support of it saying that it was merely a squaring off of the existing deck and extending it across the house.
Which it isn't.
I would say that that's not the case either.
No.
So, I've been out there a number of times with the plans, looking at this, and when I look at the plans and see how close it's going to come to the driveway, then you really start to get a feel for how close we are getting out to the street there.
Mm-hmm. And how you were almost like that corner that's extended so far, it's almost like double of what that existing staircase is.
Very little of that at all. I don't think any of that is in the side yard setback, but on the front yard,
Yeah.
it's going to be there.
Mm-hmm. And then it's extending all the way beyond the enclosed porch. So they already have this front porch, a sizable front porch that is screened in for entertaining and such. And then to extend even beyond that, it seems like a lot.
When I look at it, I think that, including, I'm going to pull this up here. So.
I got mine in front of me. It's quite massive.
There are between the proposed deck and steps that don't need any variance at all, you got 206 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then the areas that need a variance, 389 square feet. And so we're really about 600 square feet of deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a small deck. And for someone who, whatever, I live in a house that's, a little less than 1,400 square feet inside, and then.
That's like half the size of a house, a small house.
Of a small house.
Yeah.
Yeah, a small house.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how you all feel about this. My initial reaction is to say no.
I was out there again.
Quite massive.
Yeah, I was out there again just today and sort of was trying to visualize, like, say we had staked it out and such. The largeness of it really stuck with me today. And like I said, the part that extends beyond the existing porch, which is deck space or, screened in porch space. So I'm feeling negative on the project as well.
Punch?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I've been there about 8 different times, past 2 months. Keep looking at it, keep looking at it. And it's massive.
Right, so now let me ask you, is this something where we should approach the applicant and ask them if they be interested in submitting something smaller, or is this something that we want to?
I mean, I think they should have the right to expand it a little bit possibly. I mean, and it's certainly in disrepair, like it does need to be rebuilt. I would think that they'd want something smaller than nothing at all. And we don't like to deny things when faced with, like an otherwise, nice little Sears kit house. It seems excessive. So I would think they might want to present something new, smaller.
And let me ask you, it's when, Stephen, may I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Is this something that you could approach the applicant about or do we have to come up with sort of a guideline for what we might?
No, they would have to come up with something. It would be inappropriate for us at this point, I think, to design it for them. But I can reach out to the applicant and say that the zoning board is leaning towards denial, however, would be receptive to something a little smaller, or a lot smaller. So to come up with an alternative, if that is what they would like to do, or we could, a decision can be made. Or, they could withdraw their application and try again. So there's many options we could do. You could vote for a rehearing, open back up again. But at this point, to get their response into the record for you to consider, we would have to reopen it up.
We'd have to reopen the hearing right now?
No. Right now, so this is just a work session. At the next ZBA meeting, if they want it reopened, you can make a motion at that meeting to reopen it.
Do they need the notifications and all of that posting can be waived procedurally?
I wouldn't do it in this particular situation, given there was so much neighbor interest and community interest in this application. So I think renotice would be appropriate here.
Do you all feel that that's the way that we should go here?
Yes.
All right, so what do we call what we're doing now? Tabling this?
Yes, yeah, so table it. The law says you have to make a decision within 62 days of the close of the hearing, so you have time. So you'll table this, and in the interim, I'll reach out to the applicant and see if what they would want to do in this particular situation.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds fair.
All right, so we're going to table this now. Do we need a vote to table this, Stephen?
No.
Okay, all right. So I think we'll table this for now and see what comes from it. All right, next up is 10 Cheekwood Avenue, Flower. These folks are in flood zone right next door to the yacht club. They want to raise the building and they want to raise it actually 2.3 feet higher than the minimum allowed by FEMA statute. The
Footprint remained the same.
the footprint is
Except for the
remaining the same. We
stairs,
talked
yeah.
about the closing in of that porch, but I had a conversation with Reed about that, and he said that, that porch was considered part of the footprint of the house. And so it wouldn't be increasing the bulk of the nonconformity to close in that spot. There are a couple of things there that need, there's a little deck area that gets bigger, and then there are stairs in a number of places. that are going to be in the setback. We had asked for updated plans that showed some of that stuff. We also asked for an updated vegetation, for a vegetation plan.
Yeah,
We got plans back and they show a few trees planted here and there, but they're not labeled
yeah,
as
a
to
plan.
type, not
Yeah.
as to height, as to any of those other things. And so, again, I feel like this is incomplete, what their submission was, and I don't know that we can really act on this, because I do think it is, when you see, there was some discussion about the Murphy property having done this same sort of a process. I would say that there is, it is a valid comparison, except that there is nothing on the Murphy property as close to the road as that garage is.
yeah,
And I understand that because there's going to be a driveway there, you can't screen that in perfectly. We do have an existing hedge. And I would like to see something, a vegetation plan that is clearly labeled with what is what and where is.
quantities, heights,
And the
yeah,
heights, yes, otherwise there's, you could just say, well, there was like a little thing here. And
yeah,
this-
they're like illustrations superimposed on the plan. It looks like.
Right, right.
Yeah, they should provide a plant schedule with caliper, height, number, type, just so it's enforceable. You know,
Yeah.
like,
And Stephen, that should be on a survey perhaps, and not on right now we have it on an elevation, but we don't have it on a survey, showing
It
that.
should be on the site plan or the survey and stamped by a professional.
Okay, so now, how do we go about stating that we feel that this is incomplete and we need something more from them?
The only way to get something more from them is to reopen the hearing, unfortunately.
Okay, and do we do that tonight or we do that at a
You have to
next
do it
meeting?
at the next meeting.
Okay,
Next meeting.
Okay.
okay, so we're going to say that we're tabling this for now as well?
Yes.
Okay, and we don't need a vote for that, so I guess that this is tabled.
Stephen, just to clarify, the same procedure goes over here. Next meeting, the board will reopen and we will have to renotice in a paper. They will have to re-notify basically the start of the whole process again.
Correct. And you can reopen the hearing for the limited purposes of written submission. So you don't have to, allow oral testimony again because you just wanted, clarification and enforceable, revegetation plan.
For this one, okay.
So if we're gonna just reopen, let me look into that. You may not have to do full-blown notice if we're just opening it for the limited purposes of written submission.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, I think that's it. Yes?
I think so. Do you you need a motion to close the meeting?
May I have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.